Hello, welcome to a special episode of the Star Wars Vintage Action Figures of Epic Toyetic. The first 4 episodes that we've had so far have been the first 4 characters that were released, and so in every single episode I've discussed the early bird set, and so we wanted to do a special presentation and show you what that looked like and explain what that is in case you don't already know. And we have an early bird set here that we just kind of like to show you. You can see what came in the mail. I'm actually getting a little bit ahead of myself here. So, Paige, what was the early bird set? What was the story behind that?
So, Star Wars came out, in May of 77?
May 25th,
okay.
1977.
So it came out in May of we just celebrated the 40th anniversary of
Right.
Star Wars. Yeah. So it came out in May of 1977, and at that time, nobody wanted to bank on kids wanting to buy toys related to the movie, because didn't science fiction movies really sell that well?
Yeah, it sounds weird by today's standards because now
it's hard to believe.
Every time a movie comes out that has any action in it, like a big summer blockbuster, there are toys in the stores before the movie comes out. In fact, even with the new Star Wars movies, I have to make myself not look at the packaging of the toys because they have spoilers. You can see action figures that are in outfits from situations that happen in the movie that give away what's going to happen.
I remember people went nuts over BB-8, and then everybody had to remind themselves, hold up, it might be lame, but people went so crazy over it, and luckily BB-8 is awesome. So it was fine, but you're right.
So in those days,
it's weird to think now, but back then, no toy company was going to bank on it. So Kenner, right?
Kenner finally accepted the license. They had seen some success with their $6 million Man series.
And didn't they do Planet of the Apes? Was that Kenner?
Yeah, I think. Well, that would have been Mego. Mego made a lot of action figures in the 70s that were a little bit larger. We might call them dolls now. They all had cloth clothing, and in some cases they even had cloth skin. It's interesting to imagine what they might have looked like had the Star Wars toys just been more Mego dolls. You know, then it would have been compatible with all the Star Trek ones and everything.
Yeah, so Mego passed.
Mego passed.
Yeah.
Kenner accepted the license, and it fully expected that they were going to release the toys the following year before the movie, or after the movie was out of the theaters. They were taking a big bet on this, thinking that we're going to put these toys out, and the movie is already going to be gone.
Yeah.
But there's still enough toyetic appeal to these that we can sell them anyway. So what they did is they sold an empty box. It was a pretty bold idea.
This was at Christmas time, right?
They needed Star Wars was a huge success.
No toys.
To everybody's surprise, and there are no toys. And now it's in the middle of summer in '77, and they realize we need something to put under Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Which means that they have to have product in stores by what? October? November?
At the latest, November, yeah.
So somebody had the idea to sell an empty box. It was a cardboard envelope that you could get. It had a lot of it had a graphic on it of like drawings of what these figures might look like. It's not entirely accurate. And it had a little description, and every episode when I talk about what the early bird envelopes said, like Princess Leia with her Star Puff hairdo, and like Chewbacca with his special laser rifle, and R2-D2 with his click-click computer sound. It also said Luke Skywalker has a special lever in his arm, and his lightsaber can come out ready for action. It had a little flavor text like that. It's fun to read that stuff now because it's just a little bit off. It's a little strange how they're described, Darth Vader, villain.
Yeah, Chewbacca, Space Wookiee.
Space Wookiee, I love that one. Yes, Space Wookiee. So anyway, you would buy this envelope in stores, and then tear off a little coupon, fill out your name and address, put it in the mail, and then months later,
months and months later.
According to some people, in the summer of 1978.
I've heard February to spring. So that's at least
February to June, and then I've seen advertisements that were they were actually store advertisements for the early bird set that would say, even though the official dates on this are February to June, we are anticipating earlier delivery now. So
can you imagine being a kid on Christmas Day and going down to the Christmas tree and being so into Star Wars and getting a little certificate that says you will be the first people to get the Star Wars action figures. How weird is that?
It's hard for me to imagine getting excited about it. I'm a little bit older than, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit younger than some of the Star Wars fans at that time. I was 5 years old when Return of the Jedi came out, so Star Wars before that time wasn't really on.
Yeah.
And you're like 34 years younger than I am, so it's
6 years younger,
Quiet.
not 34 years.
Quiet youngster. Respect your elders. I know what I'm talking about. Right? So anyway, I don't have a personal memory of this from the time. This is something I've learned later. A friend of mine though, who is older than me, my friend Greg, he did receive an early bird set, and he told me that that's a great thing. He got this for Christmas, and his parents said that the action figures were on back order, and then he got this in the mail. So what you would get in the mail is this portion right here is the box that all this came in. It was a box, and this little tray slides out, and it came with this paperwork here too. And what you get here first and foremost is this little white tray full of the first 4 action figures. And I should also mention that this little part here, these are little foot pegs. It's a little bag of 13.
So you could get like a little stand. You could mail away for a little stand.
Well, the envelope itself
Oh,
was also
so
a stand. So the cardboard itself you could fold into a stage, and the stage had these little
like you work in
holes.
anything.
Yeah, you had like an empty stage with little name tags on where they go.
If I was a kid, I'd be bored.
But you needed to have these little foot pegs to put into the cardboard hole so that you could put the figures on there. And then of course, the thing is, many kids never even used that, or only used it for a short time, because once this arrived, there was an offer for a better stand, the action stand, and you can see that here.
Was it made of plastic?
The action stand was, yes. So if you took this part right here, which was a little coupon, you could detach the bottom part. This one hasn't been detached. Let me just read what it says here. It says, you're one of the first to receive the first Star Wars action figures. You can also be one of the first to receive a Star Wars collector's action stand. This colorful, highly durable plastic stand has places for displaying your 4 figures plus 8 Star Wars figures soon to be available in stores. 3 levers put the figures in action, moving them back and forth. Figures not included with stand. To order your Star Wars collector's action stand, fill in the coupon below and mail it with $2 check or money order. Sorry, no CODs. To address sent on coupon. What is CODs?
It means cash on delivery. I remember.
Who would do that?
I am too young to, remember that, but I remember infomercials that would say COD on it and be like, what does that mean? But how weird to think that that's.
Yeah.
But yeah, why would you want the cardboard one when you could get this one? This is way cooler.
These go for a lot of money these days. It'll cost you several $100s to get one of the action stands, and it's just a stand with a few levers. I don't have one of those. Hey, actually, I think we could. This one hasn't been filled out. Why don't we
mail away for it?
Yeah, enclosed is $2. Please send my action stand. Allow 8 to 10 weeks for delivery. Offer expires May 1st, 1979.
Oh darn. Go back in time. I mean, you were alive in 79. What were you doing?
I was probably crying.
Not interested in Star Wars
Baby stuff.
at that point.
No, Star Wars was not on my radar. I wanted my bottle or whatever babies want. So anyway, you got these 4 figures. You got the coupon for the action stand. You also got this little catalog that advertised some other Star Wars products available at the time. There were a few jigsaw puzzles. There was the Escape from the Death Star board game, inflatable lightsabers.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, it kind of showed a little. You can see right here. I think it's more interesting. Some of the other games that you could get were the electronic games. There was like the X-Wing Aces game, looks super cool to me.
I've seen people play the Sarlacc pit game, and that one looks really fun. So I've not seen anybody play the Escape from the Death Star, but I've seen people play the Sarlacc pit one. So, but oh my gosh, it looks very cool. So,
Paige, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why do you suppose that out of the first action figures that
these were the ones they picked?
Why do you suppose these particular 4 were chosen for
well,
the set?
Luke Skywalker, obvious. Protagonist, hero. Princess Leia, female protagonist.
Right.
And also,
Yeah.
as much as I hate it, damsel in distress.
Yeah, she
So-
just had a damsel role to play,
I
but
don't like it.
But
anyway.
but I still agree with the choice because
Yes,
because
female.
you can play however you want to play with these figures, and it includes a female hero
Yeah.
as well. So
Which is good, you know, and if you're a girl. And we showed the Early Bird set commercial, I think, in our first episode
little
with
clip from
Farboy
it,
and
yeah.
Luke, and it's a little boy and a little girl playing together,
Right.
you know, so I think it's cool. Have a Princess Leia for a girl. I always think it's weird that it's Chewbacca and not Han Solo, but I guess they're going for like space alien kind of.
Right,
So
yeah,
he's
I
kind
think
of
so
like
too.
a space alien,
You
but
have-
he's
you-
more of a main character.
you include an alien because Star Wars is about more than humans. It's
Yeah.
about aliens and also droids, and that leads us to the last one, R2D2.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a pretty
R2D2 was
a pretty good summary
call.
of.
Yeah.
You could argue like, oh well, you could have Darth Vader, and but you know.
That's the only thing that I think would make it better. There's no like villain in there, so you couldn't really play hero versus villain.
Yeah, but you know what? When the rest of the first 12
You
come
have
out,
them,
you're
yeah.
already started on that desire to get them all.
Yep.
So anyway, here you have it. This is early bird package, early bird set of figures. It's not an easy thing to come by these days.
Not all together in one
Yeah,
piece.
you can buy them piece by piece and
They
sort
are-
of piece one together, but
It can be very expensive.
yeah, it's kind of a special piece in our collection here, and we wanted to show that off in a special episode before we move on to another character.
Chris and I were at the store together, and we saw it, and he.
Not a store that you would normally.
Not a store you would normally go to.
To think that you would find vintage Star
But
Wars in there.
his mind was blown, and I was
Oh.
like, "What are you, crazy?" and then later on, we went back and he got it, and I'm so glad we got it
I'm so
because
glad we got
I
it.
love it. It's
So
one of my
glad you
favorite things we have, and you're right, it's like our showcase piece.
Yeah.
And not everybody has all of it all together, and the beautiful case.
Yeah, I want to put a link in the description
Yeah.
to where you can buy this case and lots of other action figure stands and protective cases and
if you
display
see our
pieces.
if you see our Carter
Yeah.
figures back here, they're in little cases
Yeah,
too.
yeah, GW acrylic. You can look that up. I'll put a link down here too for the. And there's Ian Sanderson in the U.S. on this side of the pond. And so he's the man to go to
Man to
for
go
all
to.
your acrylic needs. So I'm going to link to him, and we love his products.
So
Thank you so much for joining
Yeah.
and tuning into this episode.
click thumbs up below if you like it. If
Yeah.
you want to see more Star Wars stuff,
We will
we got a
definitely
lot on our channel.
We'll
So
show you more Star Wars stuff
Yeah.
for sure.
and we're gonna try to put a new episode up every week. We'll do different videos in between. Anything Star Wars related, go to our channel. You'll see more of it. Toy related things. Like I said, click thumbs up if you liked this one especially so.
Yeah.
And subscribe, and you'll be able to see when we have new content coming out. So
See you next
we'll
time.
see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.